My name is Malcolm Clark. I'm a film director from the UK.
Edgar Barons.
And the Oscar goes to?
Thank you so much. Thank you, Nick. For the past several years, I've been living in China, making films about China. Through my films, I can bring China and the rest of the world closer together. I read the New York Times, and I've noticed that the coverage on China has become more and more negative. I do feel that there is a kind of a predisposition editorially in the New York Times to look for negative stories about China.
I said before, we do not support sporting boycotts, but there are no plans for ministers, certainly no plans for ministers to attend the Winter Olympics.
The government says the cameras are used to fight crime, squash protests, and maintain control.
Particularly American, but also Western. China is stronger militarily, stronger economically, stronger academically. All these things predispose reporters to question whether or not China's renaissance, China's rise, is a good thing or a kind of existential threat.
I just don't like the communists owning anything in my hometown.
People are now trying to play what in English we say gotcha journalism. So journalism which says, ha, we found a mistake. We found something that you've done wrong. I made a film some years ago called Better Angels. What we were doing was trying to make a film that had to show the positive benefits to the world of China and America working together. Yum, 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 yum. Yum, yum.
他其实在生活中是一个非常平和的人，很幽默、很风趣，也非常热爱生活。所以我们在他的作品里面，经常也会看到他用就是没有带着偏见的眼光去诠释那些人物的关系、人物的故事。
原本我以為我哋會
People are not props in a movie. People are the raw material, what they feel, what they think. Best documentary films, in my opinion, are the films that get people to be emotionally accessible and emotionally honest. And that requires a huge amount of trust. Drive Like a Girl was about a young woman who had seriously improved her circumstances by taking a job as a truck driver, despite the amount of prejudice and resistance to seeing, someone who is this size driving a huge truck.
看看。因为还是穿这天穿，圈圈。
假如跟他一改
我也能开成4个圈圈的车车。
男人的傲点，女人的低傲，孩子的傲里傲。
I don't think that audiences in the West are being told the Chinese people are good. Audiences in the West are starved of information about China, and they need to hear more. One of the things that's impressive now is that people were very poor but they work so hard. They're very diligent to feed their families and look after their parents and their relatives. And that was amazing to see. And I think that's something which we don't really appreciate enough in the West. We need to hear more about the breadth of China. Hello. Hi. Very nice to meet you. Hello. Hello. Very nice to see you.
I watch whatever episodes of two of this. Yeah. Represent the other. 你好，你好。
妙彤老师你好。
你们都一起。
对对对。
一起过来。
对。
好。
So you watched a couple of episodes?
Yes.
Great.
Yes, great.
Good. Thank you.
I will use the name this.
Excellent. Yeah, I read your introduction. It was very good. I admire
it. Chinese.
It.
You read it?
Well, I read the translation.
Ah, okay.
I think I should have some of these. These are the.
我开始介绍完之后，还是能在客然后他
为此，我们今天专门请来了知名的英国导演科文斯。那么他是2届奥斯卡奖的得主，他现在定居在上海。OK。
I agreed to do the program because I think it's important that people hear all kinds of points of view. Yes, I mean, I was one of the group of filmmakers who were accused of being pro-China. It's okay, I don't mind. I mean, it doesn't embarrass me or make me feel bad, but it's wrong. And I am for talk about the difficulties and address the difficulties, not this kind of crazy propaganda jihad against China. That serves nobody's interest.
从人出发去讲普通人的故事，您是已经完全抓到了这一点。那是不是对于很多想要讲中国故事的中国的讲述者来说，这一点也非常重要
？It would be far more authentic, different, but more authentic, if Chinese people could tell Chinese stories to the world. The problem is there is no tradition of doing that, and there's no authentic kind of passing on of information and technique. Your country has been far too busy feeding its population to figure out how to make films. Films are important, but they are a secondary consideration. Now, more and more talented young people are going into film schools. The one thing we all know about China is that China learns incredibly quickly. And I hope 5 years from now that there is a whole generation of young filmmakers from China who can tell Chinese stories so that I can take a rest. I don't do much teaching. Whenever I'm asked to guest lecture, I always say yes. So I really want you to be a little brave and a little different to the way you maybe do many classes, because I want you to speak up. And Chinese filmmakers need to hear from foreign filmmakers, because I would like to see the documentary tradition get stronger and more vibrant in China, because I think it will help China. They make a film, but they have. And I think this language of film is incredibly powerful, and so we should speak this language, the language of film, as eloquently and as well as we can. It's always better to talk than to fight, and it's always better to listen rather than argue.